All right, what do you got over there?
Oil pump.
Oil pump. Somebody was hiding parts from me, I had to find them. Somebody put the oil pump gears in with the cam gears. I'm gonna have to get on that inventory guy.
That guy.
That guy's in trouble. That guy is gonna be fired for that. Wish he cut his balls off for that. It's capital offense. Mixing parts up around here. That was a valuable 5 minutes of lost time I'm not ever gonna get back. Okay, so we have some pinion gear parts, some oil pump cam gear stuff, and we got a bunch of cam gears to choose from. Which one do you want?
The one in the middle there.
In the middle.
Let's start with that one.
This one right here?
Yep, that'll do.
Okay, this one right here? You like that one? Okay, what about this one right here? How about the Harley one right here? No, we don't want those. No. Okay, we'll figure that out in a minute. Okay, what do you got? The oil pump over here? Appears to be black. Good deal. Alright, so we'll have to figure all this. I gotta put that somewhere I can tell on the way. Is that out of my way? It's gonna have to be for now. Okay, you asked about this. No, you asked about this. Where's the other thing? This. What did we do to this the other day?
We took the...
We smoothed it up. How soon we forget. Now you're trying to hide my seals from me. Do you want seal number 1 or seal number 2?
Seal number 1 is the full set.
So you want to use the full set?
I figured that would be the best thing.
Okay, we'll use the full set. Is this the newer vintage, or is that the older vintage?
I think it's the same vintage, but one is just replacement seal, and one is...
It's out of a gasket kit.
gasket kit.
Okay, there's our seal. Appears to be a relatively fresh rubber. Good sign. And that goes on top of here. Now, do we put it on like Harley does it? Upside down, or do we put it on the correct way?
Like dry primary way?
I didn't say that. I said the Harley way or the correct way.
I only know it as the Harley stock way and the dry primary chopper way.
It's called, do you want to keep the oil in the motor or keep the oil from getting into the motor?
I prefer to keep the motor oil inside the motor.
You want to keep it in there?
Yeah.
You don't want to keep oil from going this way. See, Harley puts them like this so the oil can't get into the motor. It can get out, it just can't get in. If you put it in this direction, oil does not come out, but you could force it in. That's how seals work.
I get it. I get it.
They're not unidirectional. They work one way or the other. I always prefer keeping my oil inside the motor where it belongs. And if I accidentally got some primary oil into the motor, I'm not going to be super paranoid about that.
I don't know. I'm just thinking about primary and debris. Primary is more likely to get...
Good theories there.
I'm just thinking.
Did you talk to a Harley engineer recently?
No, I was just. As a matter of fact, I did, but I came with that. I came up with that all on my own. So.
Oh, good.
You know.
Well, I'm glad someone figured out how to make it work right. Because to me, I like keeping the oil in the motor. So.
You know, we'll go your way.
Okay, because I'm going to do it this way anyway. I don't care what you say.
Sounds good enough.
Now, on my race bike, when I had a vacuum pump on the motor, I would pull 17 inches of vacuum with a seal in backwards, like this. So, are you going to pull more than 17 inches of vacuum in your pistons?
You know, the last time I checked...
You were 17 and a half inches of vacuum.
You know, I think I backed out around 16.
16, so that's why the seal had to be put in backwards? Okay.
Pretty much.
Good. Where's my hammer at? Who mixed those up? Somebody mixed up my tools. Okay. I hate it when people mix up my stuff. See, this is the one you beat on. This is the one you press on. See how it's different? They are similar tools, though, if you notice. You also need a big-ass hammer. See, if you hit on it with this hammer, you have to hit it really, really hard, and it doesn't do much. It bounces a lot. Now, if you hit it with this one here, it hurts more. It also pushes the seal on better. See, that's why they make different size hammers. Okay, now if you go like that, and you're beating on the case, you're not beating on the snaft here, I'm okay with it. Otherwise you can beat it like straight up and down, beat it like that, and push it more even. Now there is a special tool for doing this, and I'm sure it's very important. There, notice I had to get that on there, over that lip. Okay, see, once you get it started, you just go around like a circle like so. Should I just hit it harder now? Appears to be all the way down. Then you take this spacer and push it in like that. Now that's a tube coupler you can buy at Kmart probably for $99.99 or something like that.
No.
Or is it $9.99? Maybe it's $1.99. You rub across the table a couple times or out down the street to get it flattened out, and you use it for a tool. Okay, so that is now assembled like it's supposed to be. Pretty slick, huh? Slick. What, are you holding this up for some reason? You want to skip to this now?
I don't know if it's skipping ahead or
Well, I usually do.
the next step.
I usually go to the other side, but okay, we can go over here if you want. Now, do you want to put any sealer on this right now, or just run it in, or put it in dry? Put something on there to make it slide easier?
I'd put something on there that seals.
Well, I don't know what's going to seal it. It looks like it looks like it's age hardened right there. Usually, whatever you put on there just makes a big ass mess.
Can we make a little ass mess?
Usually, just put them dry and let them leak.
I'd rather not.
Yeah. I'll put something on there make it stinky and flippy. You can put gaskets in there. You put 3-bond in there. Whatever you put in there is going to squish and make a mess. So.
Just put a light amount?
Well, what's light? What's heavy?
I don't know.
How much gap is there? Don't know that either. Okay, we'll put a little bit of this on there just because you want to make a mess. You could put it in first and you get some of that packing, expanding foam stuff. Squirt it in there and take up the gap. How about that?
That's one way of doing it.
That's one way of doing it.
That's a way of doing it.
That is a way of doing it.
A way of doing it.
Do we think it would work?
You know, I
think that'd be a no.
I don't think that would be.
Back my dirty rag. Okay, we'll go this method. It might be better. Now the problem with this is it's dry, so it's going to be hard to slide. But if I put anything on to make it slippery, then the sealer won't work. So you're making it just harder on me, is what you're doing. Okay, you do not want to push on those things. You can push here though. We gotta get this thing to go in there somehow. So try to manhandle this a little bit. So right now it's not wanting to go. It's really not wanting to go in there. Push on that part. See how I don't do this now?
Mm-hmm.
That is not wanting to go in there at all. Okay, let's see here. Get somebody to hold this thing. Yeah, that is not happy. That is a lot of force I'm putting on that thing, and it is not cooperating at all. Okay, put that thing over in this area. Where's the wire at? At that much force, you start cutting the rubber and breaking wires and doing all kinds of stuff that's not good. This one come out of here?
Not necessarily.
It ain't going in. I'll destroy that getting in there like this. That is a no-go. That's why I don't put sealer on them. All I do is make them really hard to do anything with. Just wondering if I can get even out of here. That is not a happy camper. Okay. Let's see, there wasn't sharp edges here, but there are sharp edges right here. And see how it's super cleaned right there? Those sharp edges are digging into there pretty hard. See that in the video? I'm going to do a little deburring. See, I knocked the titty off?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. See, this one has the same issue right here. I have gone here at times and poured these holes out, which means you make a nice V shape here in the front. And you have plugs that will not go in for any reason. Should be enough.
Would you like this?
Nope. Just a piece of rubber, shear it off, see? Okay. I'm going to try it one more time with the goop. If it doesn't go this time, I'm going to take all that goop and I'm going to lubricate the piss out of this hole with some oil to make it more slippery. See if that does a trick. So far what we did not work for a squat.
There we go.
This is about where we stopped last time.
So it's still fighting a bit.
Well, this is where we stopped last time, so.
There we go.
I don't know if it'll go all the way in, but it's trying. I think the goop is really hurting us on this.
Oh, it's going. Just fighting every step of the way.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The problem is you got to go a lot more than this. And this is the easy
Another
part.
½ inch, right?
3/8 of an inch anyway. And the goop is definitely not helping. That's peeling the wire right off that. Nope. Nope, not gonna go. Almost, but no go. So deburring helped, but the goop is still a problem. That's why I put them in dry. I actually lubricated before I put them in.
Well, that was an interesting social experiment.
That's why I don't listen to customers very often. They make my life harder. I hope they haven't done any damage to that thing yet. When you're putting that much pressure on things, you can cut the rubbers in half, cut the wires. See, the screwdriver digs into this and actually cuts into the rubber. It makes it a real problem. Now, the next thing is this stuff's all dried up on there now, so it doesn't want to come off, see? I do that dirty rag. Wipe off most of this. It's best not to be rubbing this too much on the table because of the it wears away the varnish, the insulator. That's why I try not to bang them very much. Alright. We need some lubrication material. Slip and slide. I used to use a silicone spray, but it's not really enough pressure to do what it needs to do. Because that's under a lot of pressure when you jam that thing in there. Okay, what number are we up to? Come on, where's it at?
Oh yeah.
So you see what method I like better?
Yeah.
A good high pressure lubricant. Makes life a lot easier. That's why I quit screwing with sealers. But oh well. Every now and then you gotta try it and determine why you never used it. Well, you quit using it the first time, right?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, it makes you feel better. Alright. Here's my screws. Okay, so here's our plug, or retainer I mean. It uses 2 little sheet metal screws. Now do not break these off in a case, you will not be happy. They actually are pretty damn strong. So you can torque them pretty good. But don't get too carried away. Now the shape of the plug matches the case. So see how the case is shaped? See how that's shaped?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't go this way, does it?
Nope.
It goes this way. That's how it's supposed to go. If you get the plug in the right spot, this will go right in there without fighting you. If you have it in the wrong spot, it'll fight you like crazy. Kind of bring it in equally so you don't get too much in one direction. Push back on that a little bit, see what I do. Okay. There we go. Come back just a little bit. All right. One quick and easy alternator installation. It's like almost no effort at all. All right. Now I need a wrench for that. That's a Torx head. So you got Torx on it instead of an Allen, and the early ones were straight slot. Okay, let's see if I actually have the right tool here for once. Somebody came over my tool. Was that you?
That'd be, no.
Well, that is not the right size Torx. What size is that? That would be a 20. This looks smaller. That's definitely smaller. I thought I used to have one over here. Definitely not the right one. Alright, let's go over here and get the bigger one. That would be a 25. So you just had Loctite on these already at one time. Do not use anything more than blue. I use purple. You know what purple is?
No.
Under 1/4 inch hardware. What size are these?
Under 1/4 inch.
There you go. What color is that?
Purple.
There you go. Lavender.
Ah, yes. Nothing like a lavender screw.
Look at that. I said it looks nice in that reddish orange color that was already there. Which hole do you put it in?
One of
That
the
one?
4 holes.
That one, 180 across. That would be too close, so it would go to that one. See, it's equally spaced. I don't know why they put the other screws in there except to confuse people.
So
They have the same problem over there. So.
maybe a fixture for machining.
I'm guessing it might be for some kind of a assembly procedure, yes. That would be my guess. I could be wrong. Okay, now you put this in there and you rotate it until you find the spot it goes. I'm thinking right there, what do you think?
I'm thinking that'd be just right.
Okay, and before I go all the way down, I'd like to check to make sure that the plug, or the wiring, is not being destroyed or rubbed on some spot it's not supposed to be. That appears to be a good spot. Push on the rest of the way. What's the torque? Tight.
Tight.
About that tight.
About that tight.
About that tight.
How do you measure that?
You take this muscle, subtract from that muscle, and add it to this muscle.
Got it. It's in Newton Megans, right?
Newton Megans.
Gudentight.
Good and tight, yeah.
That's that German.
It's a German torque, yes.
Perfect.
Okay, that is assembled. Now, I don't know what you got for an alternator rotor. What do you have?
I don't have one here,
Good.
but I do have one.
Is it one of those genuine Harley ones that has those stupid washers on the outside of it?
I believe it
Probably
is.
Yes.
Genuine Harley
So those
Davidson.
crappy ass, thin ass ones that like to strip all the time, rotors, you put a 90 thou washer first. That'd be that little thin one. And you put your stupid alternator rotor on there that's real thin. Stuff it on there. Then you put that big thick ass honking washer. It's about 1/4 inch thick and about that big around, and it goes right over the whole thing.
Got it.
Then you have a little 60 thou thick thin washer for your sprocket, and then you put your sprocket on there or hub or whatever you got out here. That is how you're supposed to do it. Now, if you have the heavy duty alternator rotor or the early like shovel head part, the good one, then you could have just a rotor's about that thick. You shove it all on there, no spacers, no washers. Then you put your little thin 60 thou washer on for your sprocket, and then put your sprocket on. Guess which one I prefer?
Shovel head.
The thick ass shovel head one, yeah. Yeah, that works good. So anyway, I like the thick ones because they don't eat up, they don't spin and get loose.
Right.
Plus, when you tighten a nut down, you got less shit to move around, compress, and get loose again, so it stays tighter. So that's why I like it. Where's your hole plug? Is it clean?
No,
Why not?
haven't got there yet.
What's wrong with it? Did you wipe it off?
Nope.
Is it clean?
It is now clean.
Clean? Nothing coming off?
That's good.
Now, should I cross thread it the rest of the way or just?
No.
Okay, now I can tighten up a cross thread it, or just get it centered up better. Let it go in correctly. Now, I usually leave these loose, and the customers complain they fall out and get loose and dump oil on the ground.
That is a sick joke, but I understand where you're coming from.
The way I look at it, if they don't set the ignition timing, they're a dumbass, so if the oil plug falls out, it's their fault.
Ooh.
Because you have to set the ignition timing. At least you should. If you don't, fine, I'm not going to get lost and concerned about their plug falling out.
Fair enough.
So I just go in there and leave it loose. Purpose. But I go in most of the way.
That makes sense.
Like that dirt and shit don't get in there.
Gotcha.
And the oil will stay in there unless you just lay it upside down, then it'll still come out. But you shouldn't be laying your motor on the side anyway. So. If you do, tighten that up.
Gotcha.
Now, if you want to tighten up right now, you can, but you got to unloosen it
No,
later. So.
I think that's a good.
So, you know, sometimes I'm just like that.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, sometimes. Unless you never check your ignition timing. It's obviously not very important. I think you're missing your switch, aren't you? Pressure switch?
Yes,
Do you have one?
I do, but I
Okay.
don't have one here.
You have it, but it's not here. Okay. That's good. Because we'll need that when you put it all together the rest of the way also. We don't have a cam, so we can't finish this up. But we can do an oil pump.
That we can.
Okay, so I'm going to get this mess cleaned up and we'll be back.